Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, it's gonna be fall DIYs. I wanted to do something a little different though. I wanted to show y'all just how easy it is to make a tiered tray and also the decor to go on your tiered tray. These are super simple, super quick, very affordable DIYs. I cannot wait to show these to y'all. If you are new here and you enjoy DIYs, you enjoy decor on a budget, also you just enjoy a good mood and just some hanging out time, definitely hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. If you guys are ready, so am I. Let's get into this. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. Okay, let's get started. So for this first one, we're actually going to be making the tiered tray to go with these DIYs. So I got these two wood panels from Walmart. I believe they were around $5.99, something like that, $5.89, something like that. Very inexpensive as far as to make a tiered tray. Now, I got the candlestick from a yard sale, I think for like $1/4. The first thing I did was take these panels and I just took the hangers off, took the staples out, just kind of prepped them, got them ready. I have got Folk Art Metallic Silver. I also have Elephant Chalk Paint by Waverly. I have got Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel, and then I've got some black chalkboard paint that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. So the first thing we're going to do is paint this candlestick, and I just took that elephant and I completely cover this candlestick in the elephant. I actually wanted that elephant color to be my base color on this. I knew it was going to take a couple coats to cover up that red, and I figured if I did the elephant, it would just go ahead and cover it up, and then that could be my base coat. Now, I'm taking the metallic silver, and I'm going to tap this all over this candlestick. So I'm just kind of pat, all the way around it. And that just kind of gives it the look of, the metal look. So all you got to do is just tap it around there. Then you're going to take the black chalkboard paint and another little sponge. I've also got my Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel. I'm going to start out with the black little makeup sponge, and I'm just going to kind of hit it here and there. I'm going to go around the edges. I'm going to go any kind of indentions in the candlestick. I'm going to go around that, just kind of giving it some different dimension, But this is so stinking pretty. It really looks like metal when you're done. And then when you add the rust to it and just give it that galvanized metal look, it's just so, so pretty. And it's very easy to do. You cannot mess this up, I promise. So don't let this intimidate you. Try this for sure. If you do want to try, galvanized metal, this is a very simple technique and it really turns out looking super good. So once I got the black done, I actually took the sponge that had the silver on it and went back over the top of all of the black with that silver, and that just kind of blends it in. I'm then going to take the Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to go right back over most of the places that I just went with the black. So I'm going to go around the edges, around the indentions. I'm then going to take that sponge that's got the silver on it again and just go right back over the top of it, and check that out. Y'all, it really seriously looks like galvanized metal. All right, now to work on our boards, I've got Plaster Chalk Paint by Waverly and a chip brush, and I am simply just going to get some paint on my brush, wipe it off on a paper towel, and then dry brush this. And I want to go in the same direction as the wood. So I want to keep all of my brush marks in the, going in the same direction as the wood grain. So very simple to do. You're just slapping the paint on, let the wood panel itself kind of pick up the paint off of the brush. So it's super simple. Literally just swapping over the top of it and letting that panel actually pick up the paint. But these dry brush really, really well. They look super good when it's done. Check it out. Oh my goodness, y'all. They really dry brush really, really good. And like I said, the panel itself is actually just kind of picking up the paint. You're not really like putting the brush to it to paint it.
you're letting the brush just kind of glide across it, and then the panel will pick up the paint. I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying. I hope I'm telling y'all right. All right, now I finished this with both panels. I ended up doing the inside and the outside of all of them except for one, the one that would sit on the bottom. But we got 2 panels, so I ended up doing it all the way around. I then took my candlestick, placed it in the center of one of the panels, took a pencil, and just marked around it. That way, I would know exactly where to put that candlestick back down, and I could keep it, you know, perfectly centered. I took a tape measure and just kind of checked it, made sure I was in the center. Once again, just made a little circle with my pencil. I'm going to be using my Starbond multi-purpose thick adhesive along with the accelerator. And y'all, I talk about this glue all the time because it really is great glue. But that accelerator, I don't know what it does to the glue, but it does something, because the glue almost turns into like a hard plastic instantly. So it is very stuck once you get it done. But it's really good glue. And I'll have a link in the description box for the Starbond glue and also a discount code for y'all. So check that out. It's worth your money, worth your time checking it out for sure. I just glued this together. Super simple. And I'm in love with it. Check this out. All right, let's make some stuff to go on that tiered tray. So DIY number 2, I've got 2 of these pumpkins that actually were sent to me in an awesome, awesome goodie box. Y'all, it had tons of stuff in it that I have never seen from the Dollar Tree before, so I was so excited. So thank you, Mandy. Thank you, thank you. All right, now I've got my chalk couture. I'm going to use one of these little transfers and also my black paste, and then I've got these little leaves. Y'all, look at these. How stinking adorable are these? And they're wood. These were also in my goodie box. I love me some Happy Mail. All right, now I have got celery and nimbus, also mineral, all Waverly. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just paint these pumpkins. So I took my celery and I painted one of the pumpkins. I then took the nimbus color and painted the other pumpkin. And I just wanted these to be really neutral and just have that, you know, just very neutral decor, that color to it. So I ended up taking the mineral and making my lines in my pumpkin that I had painted with the nimbus. I took some moss Waverly chalk paint and actually made the lines into the pumpkin that I painted with the celery. Now, I got a little too much of the moss, so I just grabbed my brush and went right back over the top of it with the celery. But this really just gave it some highlights and some dimension. It just really, you know, brought the pumpkin to life, I guess you'd say. Kind of did the same thing with the other pumpkin, just blending everything together, making it look a little more natural. These were so simple to do, y'all. So simple. So super cute too. And look at these. Okay, so these little leaves were $4.99. I believe they came from maybe Hobby Lobby or something. But y'all, they are absolutely adorable. And we will be getting back to those in just a minute. Now, I took my transfer from Chalk Couture and I just snipped it in half. I'm going to peel the backing off of it and we're going to fuzz it. So when you're using Chalk Couture, you want to fuzz your transfer. You want to fuzz it again and then fuzz it some more. So you're going to really fuzz it quite a bit. And that's just so you don't take the paint off, you know, when you stick it to whatever you're going to be putting your transfer on. Now, I laid it down on my pumpkin, and as you can see here, I had it a little too far up, so very easily I was able to move it. I love these chalk couture transfers. They are so simple to use, and they turn out perfect literally every single time. So I took my little squeegee and my black chalk paste, and you're just going to wipe it across there, and then you go back and kind of scrape it back off. Doesn't take very much at all. It takes very little of the paint to use. Super simple. Now, once I've got it on there, I'm going to immediately go right back and peel that transfer off, and look. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. All right. Now, I took some ribbon that I just had on hand, and I'm going to tie a simple shoestring bow. I call it a shoestring bow. I don't really know what it's actually called, but just a simple little bow. Add some hot glue to the top of this pumpkin and just add in my bow. Super cute, super simple. I did the same thing for the other pumpkin, except I did a messy bow. So I just cut a bunch of strips of ribbon, then tied them up in the middle with some twine, glued that to that pumpkin. Now we're going to take some of the tumbling tire blocks, glue 2 together, take another one, glue it like long ways on top of the 2 that you just glued together, and then glue that to the back of the pumpkin. And that way, our little pumpkins will stand up on our tiered tray. How stinking cute are these? All right, DIY number 3, and probably my favorite. So I've got 3 packs of these ping pong balls. I've also got some twine, both from the Dollar Tree, and then I've got this fat yard of buffalo check fabric. Now, I started out by measuring my fabric out to 6 inches. I took a yardstick and just kind of held it down across it. I'm going to use my rotary tool and just slice right down it. So it's 6 inches wide, my piece of material is, and then it's about 36 inches long. Now, I took that material, flipped it inside out, and I'm just going to make like a little tube with it. So it's inside out, and I am gluing it to itself. So I've just folded it over. You're literally making a little tube out of the fabric. Once you get it completely glued all the way down, you're going to flip it right side out. Super simple to do. Just pull it right through there. But as you can see there, we've made a little tube. Now, I'm going to take those ping pong balls and start inserting those into my little tube that we've made out of the fabric. So I'm just popping those balls right down inside there. And I believe I used all of them except for like maybe 4. So it was 3 packs of them. I then took my hot glue gun and ran it all the way around the inside of one end of this tube. I'm just going to glue that end shut, just like so. Take my twine, add a little glue, place my twine on it, and then we're going to wrap it around that section. Just wrap it several times. I'd say I probably wrapped it about 20 times or so. But I just wrap it around there, pull it good and tight, and then we're going to secure it with some more hot glue and snip that off. Super simple. Y'all, this is so stinking cute. Y'all are going to love this. Okay, now I took it and twisted my material, added some hot glue. I'm going to add my twine in again. And then I'm going to wrap this section, just like we just did the last one. So I just cut off my twine, and began to wrap. Now, I figured out a much easier way to do this a couple balls in, okay? So the next one you see, I'm going to show you a different way to do this, because even though I was twisting my material, once I let go, it would just untwist. You know what I mean? So I thought, you know what? There's got to be a simpler way to do this. So what I decided to do was cut me off some twine, pull my material tight around my ball, and then tie my twine right there. I mean, like right as close to that ball as you can get it, so that your material is super tight around your ball. And then I began to wrap my twine. So I tied it off first and then wrap it around, add some hot glue, and secure it. But it's a lot easier just to tie it off and get it good and tight than it was to try to add the hot glue and then, then try to twist it around it. So just tie it off, get it really close to the end of your ball, and then just twist it around there. What we're making is a garland, and y'all, it is darling. I'm telling you, it is darling. I cannot wait for y'all to see the end result for this. Now, the only thing I will say that I did do a little different, and for some reason I've lost the footage of it, but I did make 2 tassels and put one on each end of this. And what I did was just snip off that little section of material that was left on the end, and I actually glued the top of the tassel directly to the ball. So it looks like it's literally made onto it. So as you can see there, I'm going to snip that off, but I lost the part with the tassels. I'm sorry, guys, but it's so stinking pretty. Look how cute. All right, DIY number 4. So for this one, I've got 2 of these pumpkins that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Now, I picked these because of the different size, and shape. I wanted them to be a little different. Now, I've got 3 of these hats from the Dollar Tree, but I only ended up using 1. I start out by sticking a skewer down in my pumpkins, and then I'm going to take some cashew chalk paint by Waverly and paint my pumpkins. I've also got burnt umber by Apple Barrel that I will be painting the stems of the pumpkins with. So just painted up my pumpkins real good, made sure to paint them top and bottom. I did use my heat gun to dry them, but you have to be very, very careful doing that because you can make them end up looking like a dinosaur egg. If you get too close with the heat gun, they will change shapes. Now, in order to use these hats, all you have to do is snip the first little seam where the hat begins, where the string, the line begins. Just snip that, and then you were able to unravel that entire hat. So I just started out by gluing at the bottom of my pumpkin and going all the way around it, and then securing the other side also with some hot glue. I go to the opposite side of where I just glued and do the same thing. So I'm going to end up completely covering this pumpkin, but I go like side to side as I do it. You could probably just go around and around and around if you wanted to. I was just trying to keep everything even so that it would still stand up, when I was done, so the pumpkin would still sit flat and all. So I just went back and forth, side to side, covering this pumpkin. And this turns out so stinking cute. I love these little pumpkins. I love them. And they're so perfect for like filler on your tiered tray. You can take any of the Dollar Tree pumpkins and completely transform them to match your decor, I promise. Now, I did take my X-Acto knife and have to cut a little hole at the very top so that I could shove my stem down in there. And actually, when I shoved the stem down, some of the paint did come off of it. I mean, obviously it's plastic and it's just acrylic paint. So it did kind of come off because I had to get kind of rough with it. So I ended up taking my paintbrush and just barely hitting at it. And I was able to fix that fairly easily. Love it. Now, with the other pumpkin, I did the same thing where I would go side to side, but I only did it about 5 times and then I stopped. I wanted you to still be able to see some of the actual pumpkin peeking through. I just thought that would look cute, and it would be different from the other one. Y'all, these are darling. So cute for such a filler for a tiered tray. I love it. All right, moving right along, DIY number 5, and I am so excited about these next couple of DIYs because they are so stinking easy and they are super stinking cute. All right, so I got this ornament at the Hobby Lobby for $2.99 and it was 40% off of that. Same thing with the ribbon, 40% off. Really cute ribbon. They had some lots of cute ribbon. I came home with a lot of ribbon. I've also got some Jenga blocks over there. We're going to be using those. Y'all, this is so easy. I mean, anybody could totally do this, and it is really, really cute on your tiered tray, okay? So I just made a simple little bow, added a little dab of hot glue, popped it right down on the truck, and that was just to kind of, you know, dress it up a little bit, just a little bit. I didn't want to do much to it because it was already so cute. And it was the perfect size for a tiered tray. Now, I'm going to take those Jenga blocks. We're going to get 2 of them. And we're just going to glue those right where the tires are on the trucks. You're just going to glue right there. Now, you want to stand it up while your glue is still hot. That way you can kind of mold it to stand. But that's it to this. This is so simple, and this is so stinking cute. Now, I did add a little extra hot glue to mine just for, you know, a little extra, you know, security that they were going to stay on. The legs were going to stay on. But this is so cute, y'all. DIY number 6. Okay, so this one is another super simple, very easy, very affordable little hack almost. So you're going to get yourself one of the pumpkins with the initial on it. Grab a couple florals, whatever you got in your stash. You don't have to have anything special, just some kind of fall, you know, whatever. Few small little pieces is all you really need. I've got a couple different assorted ribbons. I don't end up using all of those, but I did have several different ribbons. Now, I just started by taking off what was already on this little pumpkin, which was just a little burlap ribbon. I just pulled off all the excess like glue that was stuck to it or whatever. And then I took a few little pieces of those picks. So like I said, just very few little pieces. It's not big enough to really put much, but we can totally dress this little dude up. So cute. Make it completely different. So I just literally hot glued these directly to the pumpkin. Doesn't get much easier than that. Super simple. Started out with the little berries. I went ahead and added in these little acorns. I thought these were darling. Very, very fall. But like I said, you just need a very small amount because this little pumpkin is so small that you don't want to overpower it with too much florals. But I added in some of those little mini mums that the Dollar Tree has. And then I took that ribbon and I started cutting out little strips of each different ribbon. I think I used about 5 different ribbons. I then arranged them in like an X, alternating the ribbon as I went. Then I took a zip tie. I'm going to wrap it around it and just pull it super tight. I found out that this is a much easier way to do the messy bow with the zip tie. You don't run the risk of the twine breaking, because you want to pull it pretty tight so that way it'll fluff up really good. I added some glue to the top of that pumpkin, popped that messy bow on it, and y'all, this is done. And it is so stinking cute. All right, DIY number 7. So for this one, I've got this adorable gnome that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I believe it was like $2.99. It's just the unfinished wood. It was in that section of Hobby Lobby. Super stinking cute. All we're going to do is paint this, add a little bit of a embellishment to it with these, the little wooden leaves. But this is so simple, and it literally cost me like $3, y'all. And it is so stinking cute on the tiered tray. So I've got Folk Arts Vintage White. I've also got Hazelnut by Waverly, Celery by Waverly, and then just some black chalkboard paint. So all I did was paint this. I mean, literally, obviously it's sped up for, video purposes, but I just took my time. I enjoyed myself. Y'all, this was so relaxing and just so stinking simple to do. And like I said, it literally cost me $3, and it is such a cute, cute piece to use on your tiered tray. So when you're at Hobby Lobby or places like that and they've got the unfinished wood, see what they've got. You never know what you could get or what you can do with these pieces. All right, so I just added one of those little wooden leaves to his little hat. I thought that was cute. I then decided to take some of these alphabet letters. They're like the little Scrabble tiles. I took a piece of twine and I'm just going to simply glue it to where it looks like he's holding it in his hands. So we're just going to it's going to look like kind of like a little banner, like he's holding a little banner. So stinking cute, y'all. Oh my goodness. And I love that we left it, the colors, that we've already got going on with these fall DIYs, the green and the light, just the neutral colors. So I just spelt out the word fall on our little banner. Super simple. I'm just adding some glue to the twine and then adding in the little alphabet letter. That's all I did to this. He is so adorable, y'all. Okay, y'all, DIY number 8, and another super simple one, very fast, very easy to do. Just going to use it as more like a filler for our tiered tray, but it's super cute. Okay, so I've got one of those little crates from the Dollar Tree. I've also got a bunch of different like assorted pumpkins that came from the Dollar Tree. Now, those bigger ones came off of like the clips, and the smaller pumpkins were just on picks. Also, I have got a candlestick and one of the hula skirts. Now, the hula hula skirt was cut in half. That's actually a child size, and I just cut it in half for a previous DIY. Now, I started out by painting the crate with my antique wax, and then I painted the candlestick with just some black chalkboard paint. I take the hula skirt, cut off the twine, and then just stuff it down in there. And it was actually already the perfect length. So if you are using a full-size skirt, just cut off enough that you can, you know, squish down in your crate. I add in my pumpkins. Now, I do decide to add a little bit of hot glue to the pumpkins just so they would kind of stay in place and not, you know, be falling out every time I move the tiered tray or anything like that, you know. So just kind of glued those into place. Super simple. Super duper simple. And you can customize this any way you want. Do any colors you want. You could have paint the pumpkins, you know, do the pumpkins different colors. I popped that crate on top of the candlestick, and that was it. This is so stinking cute, and it really is going to add some height to our tiered tray. DIY number 9. Okay, this one is super simple also. I've got 3 of the little squared looking pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. I just started by taking off all of the stickers, the embellishments that was on it, anything that would come off, I took it off. I took some sandpaper and cleaned off all of the glitter that was on the front, and then I took them outside and actually sanded down the back of each one. I wanted it to be really distressed looking, and so that's why I did that, but I was keeping the colors that we already had going on, and the greens and then that cream were actually perfect. So what I've done is turned these to the back. They're sanded down really, really well. I'm going to glue the 3 of them together. I added a little bit of hot glue before I added back in the stem. We're just going to pop that stem right back in. Super easy. I've got my little wooden leaves once again. I'm so thankful to have gotten these little leaves in the mail because, y'all, they have just come in handy. I mean, they're so stinking cute, and they just really are perfect for any type of embellishment fall-wise, for sure. So I just picked out a couple different leaves. I added those to this. And that was it for this. It is adorable, and it was so stinking easy. All right, y'all, we have made it to the end. It is DIY number 10, and if you are still with me, thank you so much. So I decided to make this a bonus DIY. Hey, y'all. What about it? It is fall, y'all. So I found this placemat at Hobby Lobby, okay? Check out is this not gorgeous? First of all, let's just say that. Oh, my goodness. It's beautiful. Look here. And it was 40% off of that. And then I've got 2 of these yardsticks that I picked up at the Dollar General store. They were $1 a piece. Perfect. All right, so what I did was take a piece of cardboard that I had actually used in a previous DIY, and it was a little bit bigger than the actual placemat. I'm using my Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm just going to brush this all over this piece of cardboard. Now, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love Aleene's tacky glue. I think it works great, especially for projects like this. So that was definitely my go-to when it came to doing this. I just placed that placemat in the very center of this piece of cardboard, and smoothed it out really good. Just made sure that it was good and secure all the way around. Then I'm going to take my yard stakes, and we're going to cut those into 4 pieces that will fit around the placemat and make a frame. I've got my ivory chalk paint by Waverly, and also their clear wax. Now, I added the clear wax to a little bowl. I added in just a very little of the ivory chalk paint. As you can see there, it's just a very little bit of that ivory. And then I'm just going to mix it really, really well. I mean, I mixed the heck out of this just to make sure it was really good and even. I'm then going to coat my yardstake pieces with this mixture. And y'all, it is so pretty when you're done. It's like a whitewash is what it really looks like. But I ended up going back and sanding down my pieces really well once they had dried. And check these out. Love, love, love the way that they look. I think it just turned out so well. So good little trick there. Add you some ivory or some white to your clear wax, and it looks just like a whitewash. Okay, so I have got my Starbond thick multi-purpose adhesive, also the accelerator. I'm just going to add that super glue right to the cardboard, then add the accelerator directly to my frame piece, and then pop that piece right down into place. This has held up very, very well. It's good and sturdy. It's definitely very well put together. I really stand by the Starbond glue. I think it's a great glue and a great company. They've got awesome customer service. I mean, you name it, it's just good. So, like I've said before, there's a link in the description box for the Starbond glue. Y'all check that out if you're interested. Now, when I was placing these pieces down, I actually scooted them in just a little bit so that I would cover up that rounded corner that the placemat had, and it would look perfectly square or rectangle, whatever you want to call it, but so that the corners were perfectly square, you know. All right, now I took my box cutter, cut off any excess cardboard, and that was it. This is so stinking cute. And now for the final reveal. I hope that y'all have enjoyed.
today. What did you think? Let me know in the comments what you thought about these. Let me know which one was your favorite. And also, I'm going to try to put together a Q&A video. I've been on YouTube for a little over a year now, and I've never done anything like that before, so I just thought that would be something kind of fun to do. So I would love for you to leave in the comments some questions, just anything you want to know. Well, maybe anything you want to know. Be nice. Please be nice. Anyways, y'all come up with some questions. Let me know what you think about it. I'll put the video together and we'll get that out next week for sure. But thank you so much for being with me here today, and y'all have a blessed day.